The Atlantic Basin is threatening New Orleans with a possible landfall in the next 10 days. We could be seeing a storm approach hurricane status on the New Orleans coastline. We've got another storm that is also a slight chance of formation in the more wider Atlantic, a storm that has a slight chance of formation in the main development region in the next 5 days, and a storm in the Gulf of Mexico that also could become a tropical storm within the next 2 weeks. It is all happening now. The Atlantic Basin is now starting to awaken from the dead. It is not good news. 60% chance for that area. The National Hurricane Center has marked in the Gulf of Campeche. This will likely go on to affect New Orleans. Here's our model runs right now. The GFS has been fairly consistent with the Gulf of Mexico one. It's only becoming more consistent, actually. We're looking at a landfall between Tallahassee and New Orleans. Significant rainfall is the main threat. The 12Z run, which is the most current for now, actually takes a storm over the Mobile Bay sort of area, dumping heavy rainfall and then into Alabama. Really only missing Tallahassee and Pensacola by a slight margin. The 0Z actually took it right over the heart of Tallahassee, and the 6Z run took it right over New Orleans. We've also got that 6Z run, which is current for that storm that was moving just north of Bermuda. The GFS is sort of consistent on it. It's not really likely to become a system, but it definitely did have a tropical storm wind field, very, very small one, mind you. And then we've got another one in the Caribbean Sea, which is also a slight chance of formation. Now, this is really far out. This is towards the end of the model run, and that is why it is probably irresponsible for us to actually make a forecast cone for it. But you can see the 6Z run taking it over Cuba and the 18Z run just next to Nicaragua and Honduras. So we need to be watching out there. That's likely to bring heavy rainfall if it does form. And the GFS has been sort of consistent on that storm as well. So it's all happening in the Atlantic Basin. Here's what the National Hurricane Center is saying. No tropical cyclone activity is expected in the next 48 hours, but you can see that swirl starting to develop in the Gulf of Campeche, and that is likely to be our system. You can also see a bit of a mess over in the main development region. That's also a very slight chance of development, 10% over the next 5 days, 0% in the next 2 days, as it traverses through the highly inhospitable main development region. And you can see those thunderstorms starting to blow up consistently over the sort of Virginia area, and that could also become a tropical storm. So it's a lot to keep track of here. The only thing that's marked in the next 5 days, however, is that little 20% chance, actually no, it's a 30% chance now in the Gulf of Campeche, so we need to be watching out for that. So we're going to have a look at the GFS model run for the next 384 hours over the Western Atlantic region. Now you can see that the storm is expected to start developing in the next sort of 90 hours. You'll start to see that swirl become more prominent, and then it forms just north of Yucatan in the hour 132 region. That Bermuda storm also starts to develop around that time and then moves off and is quickly absorbed into very inhospitable areas, which will definitely not be favourable for the system in the more subtropics. Then this storm sort of does loop-the-loops around itself, hour 174, and then it moves on to make landfall around New Orleans on the latest run, but previous runs have been showing the storm making landfall on Tallahassee, and it's a little bit hard to tell. You can see that storm moving into the more Florida area. And then if we start fast-forwarding the run through significantly, you can see that storm at hour 384 churning up in the Caribbean Sea, and it peaks at around 1,006 millibars and does produce tropical storm force conditions before getting absorbed in the subtropical ridge and smashing into Cuba as a very weak, probably more of a rainmaker storm. Rainfall is our main threat from these systems, so the start of the 72-hour rainfall accumulation run does show consistently heavy rainfall through the Gulf Coast, and as you start getting into hour 162, you can see that storm start to develop with that white indicating 8 inches or more every 72 hours. Then the storm starts to head towards New Orleans, and we can already see significant rainfall totals starting to form there. As you start seeing those blues, that is 10 inches of rain or more every 72 hours. The New Orleans metro is actually likely to receive around 10 inches of rain from this system. Those deep blues is 25 inches of rain or more. You can see that it is also starting to come close to the mainland, and you'll see significant rainfall totals pretty much anywhere from Pensacola over to New Orleans as this storm moves through, with widespread totals of between 8 to 12 inches. So definitely a risk of flash flooding and urban flooding as a result of this system. A little bit more of an easy interpreter. This is the total accumulated precipitation of the next 384 hours from the GFS model from Tropical Tidbits, and you can see 24 inches of rain likely just offshore from New Orleans and 1 widespread areas of more than 10 inches of rain in the New Orleans metro. So very significant rainfall totals expected, and that is why there is a significant flooding risk as a result of this system. Anyways, that is about all that I have time for. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're just hit 200 subscribers rather. Thank you so much. It'd be good to get to 2,000, and the only way that is going to happen is by you subscribing. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll catch you all in the next storm. Goodbye.